2, 1. The push to redraw the congressional map failed in the special session last weekend, with some lawmakers insisting that June 15th to June 20th was not enough time to come up with a new map. If you can remember back to last week, both Governor John Bel Edwards and U.S. District Judge Shelley Dick said that 5 days was more than enough. Here to discuss where we go from here is President and CEO of the Power Coalition, Ashley Shelton. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's just jump into our questions. So the congressional map was not redrawn. Where do we go from here? What does that mean for Louisiana?
What it means is, in Judge Shelley Dick's order, she did order the legislature to draw a 2-district majority-minority map. They did not do that, and so she said if they were unable to do that she would draw the map. And so both sides have been given the opportunity to submit potential maps, which will be interesting since we couldn't do it. We couldn't produce it for the session, but I don't know how they're going to produce it for the judge. But again, they can't submit anything to her that does not meet the qualifications of the order, which is a 2 majority-minority district map. And so on the 29th, she will be convening court to hear both sides and to talk about the map that she has chosen or is considering for the state of Louisiana.
So a lot of people were arguing that, including the judge, that this map violated the Voting Rights Act. How was it able to get this far in the first place?
It's unfortunate. I think, I sat through the entire redistricting special session, and in the process of sitting through that session, there was just a lack of will to do the right thing. We testified over and over again, hundreds of folks from across the state of Louisiana, that they wanted a fair and equitable process, and that they wanted a second majority-minority district, and our legislature refused to do that. And even furthermore, I think that they said that they felt like their map was legal, and we knew it was not legal. We know it did not meet the parameters of the Voting Rights Act. Testified to that so many ways. In fact, our partner, the Legal Defense Fund, they drew it 7 different ways to prove that it not only could it be done, but it can be done 7 different ways. And so the idea that they refuse to do the right thing is totally by choice and unfortunate for the people of Louisiana, especially having the 2nd largest Black population in the country.
So now that Judge Dick has said, I'm going to be drawing this map, is her decision final?
So in terms of her order, so what we brought to her was a preliminary injunction to stop the forward movement of the map that the legislature did approve. And so yes, so once her map is, once she decides on her map and rules, that map will stand. Now, we do go to court on July 8th to hear the merits of the state's case on July 8th in the 5th Circuit. And so that certainly, they certainly can come to a different decision. And also, too, the state has also, they've also applied, the Attorney General has also applied to the Supreme Court for a stay on any decisions. And so there's lots of work left to be done. But again, if the 5th Circuit rules in our favor, then her map will stand, and it will be the map that we use in the midterm elections in the fall.
Is it likely that the 5th Circuit will rule in favor with the judge?
I think it's interesting. I think we have a solid chance. I think we've made our case. I think that there was unprecedented, participation in the redistricting process by Black and brown people from across the state. I think that the 5th Circuit already did not, initially they had given them their stay and then turned right back around and said, actually, given what we've read and reviewed in this case, we actually don't believe that, you need to stay. And so I think that it's up in, like a judge, that those judges will be impaneled and we'll know more on July 8th. But I do feel like we have done the work. We have engaged thousands of Louisianans in this process. We've built a strong record that proves that we are absolutely not post-racial. We talked about, one of my good friends, Devontae Lewis with the Louisiana Budget Project, he made one of the most powerful points, which is there is no right that African Americans have that has not been given to them by a federal court, from the right to be free, all the way to, you know, being able to integrate schools, all the way to being able to have the right to vote, and so forth and so on. And so this idea that we're post-racial and somehow this isn't about race is outrageous to me. And, you know, and so many of the legislators kept saying they were offended, but I don't know how you could be more offended than African-American members of this community who, you know, who just want fair representation and the opportunity to elect a candidate of choice. And when the veto happened, the fact that they were able to undo the veto, the moment they knew they had the votes, they clapped, they cheered, they were high-fiving each other, and the vote broke down along racial lines. And so how is that not race? What were you clapping about if it was just about winning or just, no, like this was about being able to stop the forward movement of African American voice and power in the state of Louisiana.
Well, it's certainly been a journey from beginning to end trying to get this congressional map finished. But again, Ashley Shelton is the president and CEO of the Power Coalition. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.